Earth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of the Side Quest.
Welcome back to the Side Quest podcast. My name's Luke.
I'm BJ.
And I'm Matt.
And we need to have a talk. Ooh. Me and Matt were looking at our analytics last night, as we often do. It's a very interesting side, being on this side of this parasocial relationship that we all have. Why are so many of you watching our content on televisions? What's going on there? If you could just leave a comment and let us know what's wrong with you.
No, we have to be nice to them, EJ.
I mean, thanks, but like... and it's the Reels. Why are you watching Reels on a TV?
Yeah, you're not just scrolling on your phone.
I mean, the majority's on phone, but like the past month, like almost 500 people or 500 views have been from TVs. And I was like, what?
I gotta wonder if we're the weird, like there's like a subset who literally does YouTube on their TV and will just, you know, like scroll there, which is weird to me because I'm YouTube is either on my phone
or on my computer.
Not even that for me. It's like everything's just here. I like it being right here to me. So even when I'm on my like playing games on my thing, I don't think I ever use YouTube unless we're streaming on Discord, like you know, like Game Awards reaction, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Then I'll just put on there and then just stream through the Discord chat.
Yeah, it was just odd. I was like, dude, look at this. This is kind of weird.
There was one YouTuber that I was watching. They were like talking about their analytics. He's like, yeah, dude, I have one viewer who watches me on a PS Vita.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
Somebody just still got the Vita rocking it in 2020 something.
Love that. I played mine the other day.
I want to get one so bad just because it's like a really good, even though I have a Steam Deck and I know, yes, Steam Deck already has emulation, but like there's something so cool about the Vita. It's so slick, so like nice feeling that I kind of would love to have it just for an emulation device at that point.
Yeah, for sure. And they have the whole thing where it's like the whole eShop is cracked now, so you can get all the games and all that.
I hear that, but that was like what I was going through before I got my Steam Deck, where I was like, I kind of want something small to do emulation for. And then I was like, but I don't want to have two things.
For me,
so I just was like, I'm just going to do a Steam Deck.
Certain games feel good on certain things, and I won't play them on other things. Like, I'm not going to pull up my Steam Deck to play, like, Game Boy Advance games.
And see, what I'm not going to do is, like, charge another thing, or make sure another thing's charged to go play another thing. I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to play it on my Steam Deck.
I'm with BJ on that, though, because they're like, growing up gaming, there's certain things, and I'm like, I could never see myself doing that. Like, when I played Persona 5 for the first time, it was only on PS4, and that felt so weird to me, because in my head, like, turn-based, well, not just turn-based RPGs, that's a portable thing. You play, even though, like, you know, the SNES and NES had turn-based RPGs, but for me, it's like
the era
Game Boy. Yeah,
it's
like I had the Game Boy DS. Like that's where I played turn-based games, and then on the big screen, you played the big 3D action shit. And so, like, jumping into turn-based games in like the PS4 gen was like, ooh, this is weird. I don't like sitting down playing this. I'd rather just have like the thing in my bed grinding it out.
Yeah.
But like now, I don't care. But like, there is a thing where like I don't think I could play, like you said, Game Boy games on the fat ass Steam Deck screen because it would probably just blow. Like it'd be worse looking on that bigger screen.
I'm also not playing Game Boy games.
I happily would. I love Game Boy games.
I'm just saying. I'm not.
Matt won't play anything past like PS3 era.
Yeah.
I only play GameCube.
Yeah,
some GameCube
but
games.
The GameCube games that he played already. A little bit of news. I just got a text from Dubby. New flavor alert. New flavor. S'mores Energy. Doesn't sound like a very good flavor, but buy it anyway with our code TakeItSleazy at checkout.
Are they still doing the soul leveling campaign still or no?
I'm not sure. They might be.
I mean, I'm sure they're still selling it.
Yeah.
Because
that was I saw that and I was like, that's actually really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they'd do Kaiju number 8. I'd be all over that shit.
Give me a Sakamoto Days one.
I think the people who did was G Fuel. that got kaiju.
They also got. I mean, G Fuel got like mostly everybody. Like Gamersup's got Jujutsu Kaisen.
Well, Dubby can still snatch the Dandadan.
Yeah,
shit.
That's right.
Dubby, get Dandadan and Sakamoto days. You'd be golden.
Yeah, Granny Shaker Cup, please.
Yeah,
Please.
that would work.
You want your waifu cups? There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nah, I as I put in our group chat earlier, I was listening to the podcast that came out today a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to, before BJ's big old presentation, I do want to play some Metal Gear. And because I'm an idiot, couldn't have just decided on one game, so I was like, all of them. And so I only had to buy one, well, technically 3, but I bought Metal Gear Solid 1, because I already had 2 and 3 through an HD, and that came with Metal Gear 1 and 2. And I was like, all right, cool. Now I have everything except Portable Ops and 4. But Portable Ops is like, the canonicity is iffy.
It's questionable.
And then 4 is only on the PS3 until they put out Master Collection Volume whatever.
Yeah.
Which, do you think they'll put Portable Ops on that one, or is it just going to be 4 and 5? Because that's...
I mean, it would be weird to have 5 on there in the first place.
Because 5 already has like a definitive collection.
Yeah.
And then...
I think what they'll do is probably 4, Peace Walker, Portable Ops, and then they'll have a separate edition that comes with Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2.
Acid would be really interesting because that's a turn-based RPG. Or
Yeah,
turn-based
not
game.
canon at all.
No.
It's cool.
Well, the Acids are as canon as Survive, which is really funny to me.
Yeah.
But I was going to probably go through that because I'm pretty much... I got to go fight the final boss of Expedition, and I'm done with that game. But I want to go around and do a bunch of extra shit, like a lot of the super bosses. Have you
done the thing where you've ran through like all the bosses in back to back?
I haven't yet.
That fight? Okay.
No, but I've been doing a lot of super bosses, and I'm level 56, and I probably should go just do the final boss and then go do the rest afterward. But I want to do like because I don't want to leave the game. Like I don't want it to end. That's like the thing is I'm like, damn, I don't want it to go now.
That's how I felt about Remake when I was playing it for the first time.
I was like, damn it. So I'm trying to do as much as I can, but I'm probably just going to go beat it and then just do the other bosses like periodically. Because I'm also playing Doom, which is really good. It's
the new one?
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting how... Because they've said each Doom game is a different feel. So like Doom 2016 was just like run and gun. Doom Eternal is... borderline a first-person Devil May Cry with how fucking fast it is. And then Doom...
This one's pretty fast, too.
Well, it is, but it is 100% stand your ground, where it's like, shield up, parry, like, strafe. Like, it wants you to be, like... It wants you to be a little more methodical versus Eternal's, like, fucking chain hook, swing around, do crazy combos, and execute shit. Where this one is just like, no, like... There are more enemies on screen than any other Doom. Yeah. And it's so far really good. I did the first mech fight.
Yeah.
Which is rad.
How
That's as far
far
as I got.
into the game does that take place?
That's on the 4th mission.
Oh, dang. They really throw that in pretty early.
Well, they and this one is way more story heavy too. Like each game has cutscenes, but this one is very much like we're doing cinematics.
But for the aesthetic of this game, I want that.
Yeah. Well, especially because they're going into the Sentinels and like the stuff where it's like, oh yeah, like we're giving you lore about like the Makers, the Sentinels, the demons, and shit like that. So it's a lot more lore heavy. But that was kind of expected because if you played the DLC for Doom Eternal, that one was just pretty much story and then like fucking super hard, difficult gameplay.
Yeah.
But it's good. I like it, and I'm very interested where it goes. But I can already tell that I'm gonna be like, this story is all about rule of cool. They're gonna be like, look, if this is contradiction to canon, we don't give a fuck because it's cool here.
Yeah.
And so you'll just have to deal with it. I've already seen a couple of those. Where I'm like, all right, whatever.
So last night, or yesterday afternoon, you texted Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're like, hey, you want to play some Rivals? And Lee was like, I don't really play that game. I'm not very good, but like, I'll download it right now. And we were playing it and getting our ass handed to us.
Yep.
We only did well on like one round.
Mm-hmm.
And like as he was like, yeah, it's getting kind of late. I'm gonna probably get sleepy. And I was like, come on. I bought Grounded for him, and I was like, let's just give this a shot. And then we ended up playing till like 10.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it was a great time.
It was such a good time because we'd been talking about playing that for so long, and I was like, let's just do it. Get Lee in here, have a game that we can play with him because he likes those kind of games.
Yeah.
Like out of everyone in Discord, he heavily got into what's the Pokemon with guns?
Pal World.
Pal World, and he just loved the base building and all that kind of stuff. And anytime they ever play games that have like base building or stuff like that, he's always the guy staying at the base, like
just building it up.
And I was like, you could do that, and it's just such a fun game.
Yeah,
and
very
from
whimsical.
the last time I played it, it feels like a lot more has been added.
From the last time I played it, which was like a year ago, there's a ton of new shit.
So that excites
Well,
me.
isn't it now like
with,
actually just the game? Like it's way out of early access. It's just the full complete.
Yep.
Yeah.
It excites me because I want for a game like that to have like some longevity to it, where it's not just like a little thing, and like the whole thing is that you work up to fight different bugs, and then you're able to get the resources from those harder bugs. And yeah,
it's great. I played after everybody got off. I was like, I'm just gonna start a solo world, and I just played that all night and day.
Really?
So, yeah.
Are you further along?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I did the hedge base, and now I'm trying to get into the underwater one.
Okay, cool. Well, at least we'll have a pro that knows some stuff.
I forgot about the underwater stuff because I think when we played, I think it was like, or did I play with you guys once? Did we try once, or was it no?
I don't think so.
So I know the last time I had played, there was no underwater section yet. Because I think
I played in beta, and once you got to the lab in the tree, it was like, all right, thanks for
hell
playing.
yeah, it'll be fully complete at some point.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was blown away that was what we got for the beta. Like, it still had some recipes, and they're like, you can still play, but like that's as much as.
That's as far as the story goes.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty.
Wasn't it also
interesting.
free at that point too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I think early access was free, and then they were gonna put out like once it's fully out. So if you didn't join for early access, you had to pay for it, or if you had Game Pass, it's just there.
Yeah,
But
I also, when I was playing solo, I found that there is a half-buried Battletoads action figure
hell yeah,
that you can find.
that's awesome.
I wonder
Yeah.
if there's more of that because I think Grounded was the first thing they put out under Microsoft because they had Outer Worlds beforehand.
Oh.
Hey, it's downloaded.
Our Let's Play game for the night is ready to play.
That's right.
Hey, they had Outer Worlds was already done and on PS4 and everything before when they got bought. So that I think Grounded was their first thing. They were like, "Yep, here it is."
Well, they knocked it out of the park. That game is awesome. It's really like sucking me in the same way that Subnautica does, where it's like you feel yourself slipping into it. And it's like, oh fuck, I can't stop it now.
Not a game I'd expect from Obsidian either.
I would like to figure out a way, and maybe we'd have to like restart and make a new server, which I'd be okay with down the line. But like figuring out how to do like a perma server.
Oh, okay.
So one that's
Always
always
like someone can just log in without having to have a host.
yes,
Yeah.
that would be really nice. Yeah. So, because I'm in the same place as Lee. Like, I love base building. I love figuring out where everything goes, making things like really accessible and nice.
Yeah.
And like utilitarian, but also nice. You know, I don't want it just to be like, you know, I want walls and windows. I'm
definitely the more I want to go out and get shit. Of
Yeah.
this. Like when it came to Minecraft,
I'm more of a gatherer.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fine with me. That works. You gotta have some of each.
I love like that's the thing with Minecraft when I play with friends. Like my house is always the most minimalist. Like, it's there for me to sleep and put shit. But then you play with a bunch of friends. They're building up the fucking. Cause like
Yeah, I'm putting hoppers everywhere to automate everything.
Yeah,
I'm
like
doing
you're-
all that. Like I'm building like, like the automated farms and stuff like that's.
I'm coming back with
about
just
that.
all the loot. Just going here you go. I'll
Yeah,
be back.
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
I did spend most of my time last night just gathering stems and grass blades.
Yeah.
So I think we need to move the base on this next time that we play because we're in a really shitty spot to get that stuff.
I agree. Like when we started building it, and we like after like probably like 30 minutes got all the grass in the area, I was like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, we need to move over to where like the hedge is because there's readily available pretty much everything, and there's clay deposits over there.
You can replant stuff, right? Or
You can replant like little things, but I don't think you can do big grass blades that you need for walls.
I think they slowly do come back.
Yeah, they grow back on their own, but you can't like affect it.
Yeah, 100%.
so you would have to wait probably a while.
Yeah, it took like 2 days for us to get our little sprig of
And
forest
I only
back.
felt like only like half of it grew in 2 days.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play more really badly. I'm excited to do a Let's Play, but I also was like, what if we just play Grounded?
If we could figure out how to do that on a Let's Play, that would be awesome too.
I mean,
we could.
like some of the first, not the first, but like early creators, like I mean, mostly talking about like Achievement Hunter. Like so much of their content was from
Minecraft
their
and shit,
Minecraft
yeah.
videos.
Although they had like multiple PC setups where they could get everybody's POV.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
The thing is, we could like a lot of the people that I watch, like Smitty, Blarg, and them, just do their POV, and it's assumed, oh, just go watch the other one later. But it's all the same jokes, same shit, all the same stuff going down. So we could. I mean, I doubt we'd multi-record for all of us, but we could just be like, hey, this one's through Matt's POV, and
I mean,
whatever.
it'd be easily it with a capture card.
Yeah, we could at least get 2.
Yeah.
And then League just install OBS on his computer. I'm pretty sure you can even like export settings too. So I could just be like, hey, just use this setting preset and just hit record.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So
I watched Thunderbolts with my dad the other day.
Is it so? Obviously, we talked a little bit about it, but is it like the kind of this feels like old Marvel again, kind of, or is it like kind of like a new?
So the thing with it is like everything that's come out in this phase has been like, oh, don't worry, it's still old Marvel, when it's not. Thunderbolts is the first thing to be like, that era is fucking over. And I really enjoy that. I'm the world's biggest Yelena Glazer, so I obviously was very excited for that. She is right now the only good character besides like Spider-Man that is left, in my opinion. So seeing her go through like basically battling depression was like fucking crack to me. It was awesome.
I need to see it at some point. Now that a bunch of my friends are back from college, like they're all we want to get like the full crew go see a movie. It's either that or Sinners, and I'm probably gonna try to see Thunderbolts because that's probably the most approachable for everybody.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think it's. I mean, we've talked about this, but where I'm ended up after all of our yes,
The thing, I think it fell slightly. Yeah.
That. Where I've landed after all of our conversations and stuff is, I think I just am not interested in Disney anymore. I mean, except for clearly Andor, but like other than that, like there's not anything that keeps me. Like all of the people I loved, not there. All of the things I loved is not really there. Like it's lost so much of. Yeah.
I mean, Disney animation is pretty much done for me.
Yeah.
If they get the writers for Andor back to do something else, I'll watch that. But other than that, Star Wars is done.
Yeah.
Like Marvel's seems like it's the only thing that has potential to be interesting now.
I'm in the point where I'm just like, it's always gonna be case by case. Like I'm gonna see Ahsoka, I'll see the Darth Maul show, and then Visions, and then anything from the MCU. It's like, oh, if they do another Moon Knight, I'll watch that. Like I'm very much just, hey, that looks cool, I'm gonna watch it. I don't really care about the overall, like I don't care about the MCU anymore. I don't really care about Star Wars as a whole. I still like it. Like,
and it's like, here's the other thing is I'm actually like, I'm kind of sick and tired of shows. Like I like the idea of being able to sit for an hour and a half, which is, and like what I mean that's why a lot of the nights I'm just like, I don't want to watch an episode of something. I just want to start it and end it, and then that's my experience. I mean, like with Marvel, it's like my go-to movies are honestly is Iron Man 1 and 2.
But I've walked in on you watching Iron Man 3 a bunch of times though.
Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. But the other one that I rewatched, which I enjoyed, but it was mostly because I felt like I didn't like remember much about it, was Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. There were good things about it.
First Doctor Strange is honestly pretty good.
I wish that's the most recent Marvel movie, but I'm always watching Iron Man. It's like those are really my favorite movies.
There's a point where you can, like, to me, MCU, like even in like the heyday of the MCU, where it's like, oh shit, everything's so hype and whatever. There was a point where all of them just kind of felt similar, even, And they still have that now, but like that's why I think Thunderbolts and like Guardians
Well, I think
are so good.
they're now similar. Like the origin movies were all like these are each uniquely special.
Well, like I mean, I feel like after Avengers, they were trying to do some like because you obviously got like Winter Soldier, which I still think is one of the best.
Winter Soldier is great,
and then but then like once
but it's also like here's a bunch of people together again, and you're like, this is a good story for a bunch of people, but it's not like. Uniquely personal story for one character.
I mean, it absolutely is.
I disagree.
No, you're right. I said that, and I was like, well, those are very.
I'm gonna have to walk that back.
Yeah, those are, like, especially with the very specific choice, I was like, it's very specific.
It's like very personal.
Tony, to Tony. Oh,
well, Civil War is very specific to Tony. Winter Soldier is 100% just Cap and Bucky.
Yeah,
like that's the yes, Black Widow's there. Yeah. Nick Fury's there, but that's like just more so. This is a sequel to this movie, whereas this one is like Winter Soldier's Cap story still, and it's so like I don't know, like that movie. I think we've said it before, or I don't know if I've said it on podcast, but that is the best. At least until the Oscar Isaac movie comes out, and probably sucks, but that Winter Soldier is the best Metal Gear movie we're ever getting. Hey, there's a thunderstorm.
Extreme.
Jeez.
Hell yeah. Sorry about that. But
we're gonna die live on the podcast, everybody.
Hell yeah. But like I think Winter Soldier's still my favorite to this day. I've watched that one over and over and over again because I love the government conspiracy, the kind of espionage they're going for. Yeah. I think the introduction of he was introduced in the first one, but Bucky's whole like, oh fuck, that's
jeez.
Uh-oh. Like that whole like arc starting there really. It's so good, and then seeing it in Civil War because that again is the beating part of Civil War is Cap's relationship with both Buck and Tony.
Yeah,
and I love that.
But then you get to the end, and it's like, if you're not on Iron Man's side at the very end of Civil War, there's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
because like that whole like they're both kind of right thing that totally dissolves when it's like he fucking killed my mom.
Yeah,
you expect me to do nothing?
Yeah, that's the thing is like I think from the fundamental side of things, like on terms of like the government side, I'm with Cap. It's the same with they were doing that with the new Superman. I don't know if you saw that trailer where they're like, yeah, you like fucked up geopolitical. He's like, I'm saving people. I don't have to have the government's like permission for that. I agree with that point. But then on Tony's side, it's like, I don't give a fuck. He killed my mom. Yeah. Like fuck the political side of our argument. He killed my mom. I'm killing him. Like on that front, I'm with Tony.
100%.
I love Bucky as a character, but yeah, if I was Tony, Bucky's getting immediately shot.
So context for the viewers: every time there's a tornado warning, Matt freaks the fuck out and has a panic attack. So he might not even come back.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well.
But yeah, there was a new Fantastic Four trailer before Thunderbolts.
Because they've had 2 trailers out so far.
Yeah, it might have been the second one, but I felt like it was longer than that.
Probably.
But I'm glad it was there for reasons.
I know the post credit's supposed to lead because they're the new Avengers now. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah,
they've been posting it online. You're fine.
Yeah, they posted that shit
within
a week after on Twitter on like Marvel's page.
Yeah, they didn't care. I kind of hate that that's a thing now where it's like you have a week and I'm like, bitch, I'm busy.
Yeah, for real. Like
give me a while before you jump that on me.
If it was available to like watch on Disney Plus for that week, then okay.
Yeah. But no, like it's on, it's in theaters and I have to now go out to buy the ticket.
Yeah.
Make the time. Yeah. Nah.
Sentry was absolutely terrifying.
Good.
Like it There's some
he
shit.
goes to Void, right? I know in the trailer they kind of tease Void, and I know it's supposed to go to that.
Yes.
Good.
So there's this whole thing. Also, it takes place in New York because they redo the Avengers Tower and all that shit.
Yeah.
And there's a part where it's like they see him floating down from the sky, and all these New Yorkers just pull out their phones and start filming. And it's like, you live in New York in the Marvel universe.
Run.
At this point, you need to be fucking hauling ass. Not standing there filming some shit. So that happens. It gets really fucking dark. Like, there's a part where, we're a team, we're running around, we're saving everybody. And then, what's his name? Red.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. I keep wanting to say Red Riot. Hiroshima saves a little girl. And
I've seen that scene, and she just gets voided.
Yeah, just completely deleted.
Oh, fuck.
Terrifying.
That,
dude.
I saw that. I was like, I need to see this movie. Like,
that
right
gave
now.
me chills.
I also like that it shows them saving like people, like just regular ass people. I've seen the one shot of John Walker like holding up the slab of like concrete or whatever, and I'm like, good. That's what I want to see. Like, it's a small thing, and it's again another reason why I'm so excited for Superman. Seeing superheroes like just save the regular ass people,
Yeah.
and like, or like that. Did you see the Superman trailer?
I saw, I think, bits and pieces of it.
Unless
it was the one that played before this movie.
It might have been, but there was one where it's literally a guy, like Superman falls into a crater and is like struggling to get up, and some dude, just regular ass guy, helps him out of that crater, and I'm just like, he fucking gets it. James Gunn knows what he's doing.
Hell yeah! Did you see the Peacemaker trailer?
Yes.
Cannot wait.
God, I'm so excited for that. I also just love Peacemaker. Have you seen? No, dude. The bit that got me the funniest was the James Gunn's wife. I don't know her name, but she's the blonde-haired one in the show. And they're talking about her like you've shown like signs of toxic masculinity. She's like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dude, I need this show now. I love Peacemaker season 1, and seeing Vigilante again too is great.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I love Vigilante.
Do you think the ending of that is them going into the regular DC universe now, like straight up? Because now there's 2 Peacemakers.
Well. Yes, because Green Lantern is in it.
Well, yeah,
so
because he's talking to the Justice League and shit. Yeah,
yeah.
I love that it's Nathan Fillion. I
Me
love
too.
that it's
And I love that it's Scott Gardner.
yes,
Just let him be an asshole.
100%. Let him be an asshole, and then we'll have Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan be like the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested for that show. Like, apparently it's supposed to be True Detective in space, and I'm kind of down for
doing
that.
a Lantern show?
Yeah, with it's older Hal Jordan with Jon Stewart as like the new younger one. So I'm assuming Guy will also just be a Green Lantern at that point too.
Hell yeah.
But it's Hal Jordan, older. And I'm hoping that at some point, if they're going to do all this like bouncing around, I hope we get like origin stories at some point. Because I would love to see Hal Jordan and Flash like team up at some point. That'd be fun.
I want to see Dexstar. Give me Dexstar.
Yeah, Dexter needs to be there.
Atrocitus.
I assume Atrocitus, because if they're doing Green Lantern as like a True Detective show, I'm assuming they're going to show the other Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
Although DC has basically just said Lantern Corps don't exist because they haven't shown them in years, except for Dexstar, Atrocitus, and Sinestro.
Yeah.
They're just the only ones that exist now. Because I genuinely don't know. What the
I
fuck
really want
happened.
to see fucking Red Lantern Supergirl. That's some badass shit. They never do anything with that. Really.
I watched I mean, actually, I'm just repeating stuff on the old podcast, but I watched out of nowhere. I saw a video on my YouTube where it was like, here's like some of the like best like times other Marvel heroes or like people in Marvel comics have been in like Lantern Corps. And it was from
That's crazy because Marvel doesn't have Lantern
Sorry.
Corps.
DC.
and all the. I'm so sorry.
He's too deep,
Yeah.
if you want to know.
Yeah, and no, I'm 3D.
Oh, there you go.
God damn.
Yeah, and,
Yeah, dude.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
but and it was all the different colors and all the different like times, and it was very cool. It was like a 30-minute video, and I watched through all of it, and I was like,
I genuinely think
super
the
interesting.
Lantern like mythos is some of the best that DC's ever done, and it's all because Jeff Johns was like, I want more.
well, a couple times it was just like, yeah, it was Hal, but like when in this one scenario where he
He had
turned
a
into
yellow-
a white,
yeah.
like a white lantern, and I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, and then that leads into the whole Black Lantern thing.
The Black Lantern storyline is really cool because it was just DC's answer to Marvel
And
Zombies
there's
for a
like
while.
blue and violet.
I need more fucking Yellow Lantern Batman shit.
Yeah, dude, the Sinestro Corps Batman is
Oh
crazy.
yeah, like Fear
Yeah.
Batman. Ooh,
well, then there was also the point. What was I forget the exact reason?
why
but
hasn't Scarecrow ever been offered?
That's a great question.
A Lantern
Yeah.
Corps position,
That would be awesome.
because that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes a thing called Fear Toxin.
Yeah.
might just be
One would-
even the Yellow Lanterns are like, whoa, dude.
Maybe the Yellow
That's a
Lanterns were
little
like,
too
he's just an asshole. We just don't want to work with him.
He doesn't vibe with our
Yeah.
our vision.
He's like, look, we're kind of a cohesive unit. He's very much a lone player kind of guy. Also, have you seen the getup he wears? Kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just like it's like we're like horror and fear, and he's like Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
And
like
he's just kind
He's
of
making a trope out of it, and we don't like that.
Yeah, he's just campy.
they're like the uptight like hipsters and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, Sinestro's got a big ass beanie on his dome, rolled
Yeah.
up 7 times.
Who was Sinestro in the movie? Wasn't it
In the
the
live action?
shitty one? Yeah. It was what was it? Mark. No, it's an actor we know. He's been in a lot of
It's
shit.
that guy that has a tiny mustache in real life, right?
No, I think it's Is it the fucker from Kingsman?
No,
The guy who sings Country Road? No, it's not.
that is not Pedro Pascal. Oh,
Country Road.
Country Road. Yes. It's not. It's not him.
God dang it.
Good.
No, yeah, I was. It is Mark Strong.
Mark
Sinestro.
Strong is Sinestro.
Yeah, he was Sinestro.
Let me see the picture.
Well, it just shows Mark Strong.
Yeah, but
They CGI'd his fucking face.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't
so
look
much
anything
to where
like
I had,
Mark Strong.
He looks nothing like. And then at the end, he
floats through space and he's like, I'm tired of being a Green Lantern.
yes.
And then he gets the yellow ring.
It's still loading, but there.
That looks nothing
Looks
like
nothing
like
Mark
him at
Strong.
all.
And
No.
then his face gets crazy and he turns into a gross cloud.
Yeah.
What was with that era? Because you remember Fantastic Four, and they're like, we have Galactus. It's just a big cloud, but we got Galactus.
Well, now they're
Now we've
doing
got
actual
Galactus.
Galactus, and I cannot wait.
I need to see that motherfucker eat their universe. Like-
From everything,
We know, yeah.
like the trailer with them. I mean, I'm just gonna have to recap this trailer at this point. And that Fantastic Four trailer that I saw, it's like, oh, they went to space and now they're our heroes. They're the heroes of Earth. It's the Fantastic Four.
They've basically been this universe's Avengers, but they've never lost, it seems.
Yeah, and then the Silver Surfer comes and she's like, Galactus is on his way. Make your peace with your fucking god. And then it shows like Galactus's big ass boot walking through New York, and it's like the vibe that I get is the Fantastic Four are completely hopeless. And then the end credits of Thunderbolts.
Have you seen? So you know the comic where Doom goes up to Thanos after
Rips his fucking spine out.
Yeah,
Yes.
Godslayer
Have you
Doom.
seen the fan? Somebody,
Yes.
the fan CGI of
Dude,
that.
they did it's so
It's
rad.
so good, and it looks like they took it. You remember in the first Avengers movie where Loki goes to Thanos and he's like, "I seek a council with you," and he's like, "Brr," and then Loki kills the old guy. It looks a lot like that whole thing.
Hell
So, yeah.
Yeah,
I doubt they're going to do it as graphic as that, but dude, I hope they do that. Where it's just Robert Downey Jr.'s again. I want him in full. I know
Robert
they're
Downey Jr.
I know they're going to have him unmasked at some point, but I want it to be the fucked up face as best they can. But I want him to be in.
Is
costume
he never
most of it.
not had the fucked up face?
Maybe
that's
alternate.
like-
it's pretty much before the space mission.
he's like
He's not wearing it, and
Yeah.
then as soon as he gets back to Earth, he makes the mask and never takes it off.
Yeah, because that's his like, as opposed to like everyone else can be like looking different races, all the Doom is always like he has the mask because he has a fucked up face, and we can't have Doom without a mask.
Yeah.
they're. I wonder if they're gonna just do like the Deadpool thing where it's a fucked up face, but you can clearly tell it's Robert Downey Jr.
Maybe.
The same thing, like it's clearly Ryan Reynolds, but
It's probably going to be like, oh, my neck and chin are kind of fucked up, and there's some latex on there, but my face is still Robert Downey Jr.
I could see them do like if it's like half like this, and like maybe like the eye and part of the cheek are still fine, but like most of this is all fucked. Like do like half like up here is all shaved off too and burned or some shit.
Yeah.
So that way you could still have him take the mask off for like maybe a couple scenes, but then just so he doesn't have to sit in the makeup chair every fucking day, you have the mask on the rest of the time.
We'll see.
I'm very excited for that because I don't think Fantastic Four is gonna have him like in it
Yeah,
the same way.
Doesn't seem that way.
Because like they might mention that we got Doctor Doom back in this time, and then it's new Doctor Doom shows up to fuck some shit up. Maybe that's their post credit scene or something.
I mean, the whole thing is that they're messing with the multiverses, which is why Robert Downey Jr. is going to be
yeah,
Because
there's the same reason why they've gotten Silver Surfer's wife to be Silver Surfer is because the multiverse is glitching basically.
Yeah.
and we're doing all the like.
And Silver Surfer's whole thing was that he was like he was trying to save his wife, and then he was like, I guess I'll settle for
it's
what's her name in the original Fantastic Four.
Sue.
No. Yes.
He doesn't settle for Sue, considering Reed and Sue never break up.
But no.
Yeah,
But
they got married.
Yeah.
I mean.
Unless you're talking about the movies, but the movies aren't necessarily comic accurate.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, because I haven't seen Rise of the Silver Surfer in forever. I saw it when I was a kid.
Because isn't his whole thing?
Stupid.
He was like, "I gotta save my wife" in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, Silver Surfer.
silver wife.
I'm pretty sure, and you can correct us in all the comments and possibly TikToks.
Yeah.
And I know you're
And
fucking
so,
gonna.
And then so Silver Surfer, he actually like saves everybody. And
Silver
then he,
Surfer's like gay, right?
Yeah. And
No, but
correct me if I'm wrong.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the new one. I hope they really go into his transition.
I saw my favorite comment I saw under like the Fantastic Four thing. I was like, hey, I know we like to complain about changes, but skin tight woman Silver Surfer, I'm all down for.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah.
If you complain about that, you're gay.
Why are you gay?
That's all there is to it.
That's
Stop
right.
being gay.
Stop being gay. Subscribe and stop being gay.
Yeah.
And stop watching us on your fucking TV.
I love that. That's a really big point.
You
for
know all the subscribers we got this past week.
they're
it's,
gone.
just, it's just gonna get deleted.
All the TV subscribers are gonna leave.
Well, that's fine because that takes like 15 button presses for them to unsubscribe from us, and they don't want to take that kind of effort.
Yes.
But you know it's pretty easy. Hitting subscribe if you agree with anything.
That's true. You just watch the video and it's right at the bottom.
Hey, even if you disagree with us, subscribe and tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bully us forever.
Yeah. So that you get notified when we put a new episode out so you can comment how much you hate us.
Yep.
That's right.
We've only pretty much gotten like either, well, besides Ariel just glazing the fuck out of me, it's either been, hey, that Luke guy's right about this one thing, or y'all all suck.
Yeah.
That's all we've gotten so far. So, speaking of shit that we've gotten commented on about, did you see Kojima's comments about Death Stranding 2?
Yeah, he said it's going to be more like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, he said that in relation to the people who because when Death Stranding 1 came out, the playtesters were like very mixed on it because I think they assumed, oh, it's like Metal Gear, and it wasn't. And apparently this time it was like almost overwhelmingly positive of like people liked it in terms of like the early review stuff. And he was kind of like, oh, I didn't really want to make it for the mass audiences. I wanted it to be weird.
I want it to be really shitty again.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so apparently he was like, I still like what I made.
So here's
but
what we should do.
Yeah.
We should kidnap him and have him like and then
finish Metal Gear storyline.
finish Metal Gear and then we can I love
But if we kidnapped him, they show what would happen in Metal Gear 5 because
That is true.
Kojima gets kidnapped
That is true.
and like kept as a prisoner. Snake breaks in there and kills everybody and gets him back.
I also think
Yeah,
that,
I don't want to deal with, and it's not even just Snake. It's Big Boss Snake. I don't want to deal with that.
No, it's
thank you.
Venom, the brutalist.
Well, wasn't that in? It wasn't in Ground Zeroes when you gives it in Phantom Pain.
It's in Phantom Pain.
I think
Oh, then I'm wrong.
I
Yeah,
also
you're right.
think in my playthrough I did better than you. Unless I haven't gotten to this point. But
Also, how's your horn looking? All the way up, or is it down? In Metal Gear 5, the shrapnel.
he hasn't gotten to that point yet.
Isn't it the shrapnel? Mm-hmm. That's in. Oh, whatever.
I
That's
have
in the
the
beginning.
shrapnel.
Yeah, that's the very first
But
bit.
the part where it grows.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. My fault. Well, he's played it before. You beat it back in the day.
I see
Oh.
everything I've played. I've got.
Then I'm
gonna
I don't remember.
He
shit.
keeps coming back to me and be like, I don't remember this at all.
Okay, then
Even though I've played it, I've started it like 5 times.
then I'm gonna shut
But the
the fuck
first
up.
time I played it was right when I got the Xbox when it was
Yeah.
Games for Gold, and I played the
Yeah.
shit out of it, and then I took a break, and then I went back into it, and I was like, I don't remember a single thing about this. I'm gonna restart. But
Okay, yeah.
you said that you end up having to kill all the people. That didn't happen for me. Unless I haven't gotten there.
You haven't gotten there yet. You think you've cured it.
Yeah, because they were like, you didn't. I made sure every person with that language strain was in quarantine, and like there were a couple deaths just from the disease itself, but it never spread to other people. And I was like, they were like, yeah, you did everything right. And
There's a point in the game where they're like, oh yeah, everybody's good. We did it. And it's like, oh shit, it's back and it's way worse and they're all going to die. You need to kill them before they infect all of us.
There's the scene where you go back in the hospital and it's like
In the quarantine zone.
yeah,
and you just see.
genuinely haunting like moment in that game where I was like, fuck, especially because I I don't want to go too far because it's spoilers, but like, did that?
Yeah, don't.
That's that part, and then like, what's the fucking kid's name? Liquid or Eli. Yeah, that bit is so good.
I wish they remade all of these games in this engine.
The problem is
it's like everything about this. Like, I'm okay not doing base building because I understand that it wouldn't make sense for a plot.
The only one that they could do and make it exactly like 5 is Peace Walker.
That's what you said before, but I'm okay with that. Like, that's a thing I enjoy. But other than that, the game itself, engine mechanics is like so close to perfect.
So that's
why it's like just remake all these games.
But that's the problem is like, look at Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta is straight up being like, no, it's the old game in the old style but with better graphics. That's the best you can do with Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3 because they play very differently from 5. And they're intentionally that different because
5 is the outlier.
Yeah.
With all these,
and that makes me sad because again, like 5 is
as
I said, it is so close to being a perfect game for me.
5 is a genuinely,
to be fair,
like, borderline.
I don't think
perfect
there is
game.
a perfect game, but like
Chrono Trigger.
It's all subjective.
But, like,
yes, Chrono Trigger.
But for me,
the
like,
correct answer.
Like really though, like
Yeah.
it is everything about this game. I love this game so much. I've already have I think 70 hours now in this game, and I'm only at 36%.
I think because even like when Metal Gear 1 got remade and like they changed it, people didn't like it as much because it gave you like.
I did look up how many total missions there are because I was like,
how close am I?
Yeah, I was really worried. I was like, because the next mission is called who's the bad guy? What's his nickname?
Smiley
Skullface. The next mission is called Skullface, and I was like, Mission 30, Skullface. Like, this can't be the end. And they're like, nah, you got like.
There's a lot more after Skullface. Yeah.
After 30, I think it says it'll go up to 40 or like 39 or 40. And then after the technical end, there's 8 more missions that you can do. So there's a total of 48. And I was like,
the Skullface. It's really interesting how they go from like, you got to do a Skullface, you got to do all this. Like that's the whole game, and then like literally like I would say like Act 3 of Metal Gear 5 is like,
all right, we dealt with Skullface.
Well, none of this. It's just now it's just like way heavier, like because all the stuff with Skullface is fucked. But then like I don't know the afterword of like just a dismantling of a character. All the cool like story beats and like again how you wouldn't get this one, but how it leads to other games, because like like the fact that
especially when you telling me that like this game is actually pretty early.
It literally goes it's 3 Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain, and then Metal Gear.
Yeah,
this is the
last
MSX
game before Solid Snake is the protagonist.
Yeah, and then in Metal Gear, the old MSX PC game. You fight a guy who claims he's Big Boss, and you just kill him, and that was Venom. That's it. He's like a small boss fight, and that's it. Solid Snake just kill you. Like you go in, shoot him a couple times, and you win that fight.
I do see, though,
and then you go,
like,
you keep going.
But canonically, they do. You have to. Canonically, he did the hairspray trick.
Of course, he did.
Yeah,
but it does like it's very apparent to me where Kojima has written in like trying to make Venom. Like his own personality come through, and those are the parts that I'm thinking I'm falling in love with Venom, even though I've never played the other ones.
Yeah.
But like, it's clear that they're like, this is a contrast to Big Boss, and I go, I think I like Venom's personality more.
But you don't know Big Boss yet.
That's true, but it's clear that they're trying to differentiate his personality in these moments, and I go, I like that quality trait that they're trying to show. As opposed to the other, because it very much comes clear with Miller and like what he says, and then what Venom does, or what your character as Venom does. But half of them are in cutscenes. The thing where I'm like, oh, like clearly, like.
But 5 is also a big turning point for Miller because it's like before 5, it's like he's a pretty chill dude. Like he's pretty down for whatever, but now he's like completely radicalized. Yeah,
Miller is like at certain points he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna be killing these people. I'm not gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be like taking people that like are chill, and I'm gonna become a friend to all.
The fight, like the little,
and I'm like, and he's like, Miller's like, what are you doing? And I'm like,
the Fight
No.
Club, like the little Fight Club moment where like Venom is like, no, if you stab your brothers, it's like you're stabbing like me or whatever. Like the dude. Genuinely, I'm like, and that's the thing. That's not Big Boss. Like,
but
if you
Ocelot
play,
is also a ride or die, and that's
Yeah.
why when you told me the end, that Ocelot's like, no, I'm here for Venom.
Yeah.
And because all the time, like the whole thing, he's like, Miller's like, why are we bringing this kid? Why is Quiet here? Why is this? And Ocelot's like, no,
trust the boy.
no,
Trust the
think-
process.
Yeah, no, like he's.
I-
I'm actually with Big Boss on this.
Ocelot also though has way more information than Miller would ever have.
Doesn't
So
Ocelot
Fooling
knows,
him.
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Fooling him is like
Yeah.
a bigger deal.
yeah, because Ocelot pretty much knows the entire time.
Yeah.
So
Well, and the thing too is you play Metal Gear 3 and Big Boss is like, oh shit, he's right. You play Peace Walker and you're like, ooh, he's a villain. Like they fully go like.
I don't know, because in Peace Walker it's kind of like,
Well, he gets completely like fucked over and betrayed so many times that he just turns. That's the
Right.
thing.
But
and then because there's the argument to be made that Big Boss does to Venom what the government did to the boss, where it's like he fucks him over, kind of puts him in this position, and like because again the whole game is like you are Big Boss, of course, and it's like the small things like oh. Venom can't speak Russian, but Big Boss could, so they have to find a guy.
Yeah.
Big Boss will never smoke e-cigs. He hates that shit. Fucking Venom does all the time. Like, it's small things where Venom will do
Dude,
this
the
thing.
The e cigar is such a baller thing.
It's so cool, but
It's so cool.
I love that if you
with the fucking Casio watch in the background.
yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
I love like it's if you know to look for, you know exactly the twist.
You know what's
coming?
really shitty is almost every week I'm talking about Metal Gear, and I think until we get that presentation, it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like I'm gonna at least play some of these games
I know.
to get some
I can't
replay.
wait. I can't wait to get so I can stop speculating on what I think.
It's a ways off. I could do a part 1, part 2 kind of deal.
What part would you are you gonna do chronologically or are you gonna do like release
I'm
order?
doing chronologically.
Okay, so it would be I would say
Because that's way easier
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
understand instead of all right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do like fucking okay. On the NES, there was Metal Gear,
Yeah.
and then all the way the second to last game in the series, they go
So
back
remember
to the
5
first
slides
game.
ago when I said this. This is
So actually
before
yeah.
this.
Well, no, what it would be is remember how 5 slides ago I said this character did this thing? Well, actually, he didn't do this thing because they retconned it in this. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid all that shit, and it's causing me to go back and
I
forth.
would say you probably can once Matt beats 5, you could do a part 1 because I feel like
I think what I'll do is
because
the Big Boss timeline and then the Solid Snake timeline.
because Solid Snake would just be Metal Gear 1, 2, 4, right?
Yeah, but
and then,
also
because Big Boss is 3, Peace Walker 5.
Wait, never mind. I'll wait for the presentation.
No, ask.
Nope,
Yeah,
not gonna do it.
no, because I know we'll Raiden in 2, but yeah.
yeah,
You could do that, yeah. Or we could just have one night where we just sit down and watch all the cutscenes of 4.
no,
Like a movie night.
no.
Yeah, we get to play 30
you-
minutes of that.
Have you still, or I mean, you probably haven't, but because you didn't finish Death. I mean, this is the last bit we'll touch on Kojima shit, but you didn't finish Death Stranding, right? Okay, have you sat down and tried to watch the cutscenes and like
No,
find where you
because of
left
the
off?
experience that I had, I'm just done.
Okay.
Like maybe someday I'll find some kind of weird patch that fixes the dog shit gameplay.
For like 2 years, I had in my YouTube offline video downloads the 11 and something hour long only cutscenes that I would like slowly chip away at, but then it got too like much where like I waited too long in between, and it'd been so long since the first time I watched it where I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I just gave up.
Another criticism that I often get about this is that people are always like, "No, you just didn't play long enough." I played 40 hours of Death Stranding. That's doing side content and main story. I got to the big continent that everybody's like, "Oh, it's so much better there." It's fucking not. It's just bigger. It's more dog shit.
More walking.
Yeah.
Death Stranding is definitely a you either like it or you
That
don't.
was a
There's
hot
no,
take. That was a hot take that we got.
I
That's why I had to address it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's literally a thing of you either like it or you don't. There's no, it's all right. It's you either fuck with it or you don't fuck with it. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Although, based on all the stuff I'm hearing about Death Stranding 2, that one might have it was alright. Because it seems to be more action heavy, seems to be more, like, fucking, weird is the wrong word, but, like, more Kojima. So, I don't know. That one might have, I could see Death Stranding 2 getting more accolades up front. Because I feel like I've seen Death Stranding have a more positive up tilt of, like, people, at the time of release, what the fuck is this? And the people who didn't like it fucked off. People who were like, I don't get it, but I want to learn more.
I feel the opposite way about it. I felt like right when it came out, everyone was like, new Kojima shit just dropped. This is gas. And then the more and more people started playing it, and people who weren't like Kojima fans, they like would be like, all right, maybe it's time for me to check out this Death Stranding game. And they picked up and they're like, what is this? Like, I felt like it went up and then
everything I've seen is pretty much with the definitive edition coming out was like, people tried it again.
But that's the problem, is you don't need a definitive edition. You shouldn't have definitive editions of games.
If they have DLCs, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just like including on a cartridge, like all the DLC.
Well, yeah, like I was gonna say, like, if you have a bunch of content,
like that
like,
shouldn't
you shouldn't have to come out with a second version to
that
fix the game.
Change an opinion is a new edition of a game.
I disagree. Because it could be that you played a version of the game that didn't get patched. Because, like, if I had played,
but games get I can wait 30 minutes and all of a sudden my game is different because of an update. That
but also
something.
how many people played Cyberpunk and were like, I can't fucking play it. Fuck this game.
Not me.
And then got
also didn't have a definitive edition.
It kind of does now.
It has one now.
But kind of does now.
That's also just like
but
with
also
the Phantom Liberty edition.
With the DLC and the 2.0. If you were to buy base Cyberpunk right now,
I'm basing that off of when they fixed the game to 2.0. That's a big enough time where that was the game and that was good. Then they were like, all right, we're going to make a bunch of changes and rework things. There you go. But but it's not like they don't put it out as this is it's still just Cyberpunk, and we just updated it along the way. Like having an edition that comes out and goes, trust me, this time it'll be different. That's a different vibe for me than.
I mean, the thing with Death Stranding is none of the stuff in the definitive was there because it was literally stuff they're like, hey, we need to justify.
That's kind of another problem.
But was that a pushed update?
No, it was just a new version.
Yeah,
that's my issue. That's my issue right there.
That's also the one that I played, by the way. So still sucks ass.
But
can't come at me with that.
That is my issue.
Well, what's the issue?
The issue is that you have to pay for that content again.
Well, if it's like legit new content that they were like, we developed it for this version, and a lot of times, like especially.
But you just said you changed it, and it came out the same year?
No, it came out for the PS5. That was the definitive edition. It was like, hey, we need to put a game out for PS5.
Still, like,
they
could just push an update instead of making you buy the whole ass game.
It's not like RE4 to RE4.
Yeah.
That's a full-on fucking remake,
ground up remake.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Why I'm paying, but I
didn't pay $60 for
it's not
definitive.
just like an update that you get that goes, here's some changes and we made it better. Here you go. It's like, no, buy this new ass edition that's changed everything, and trust us, it's way better now.
Or like I think mine was just like, hey, you want the new shit? It's $10, and I was like, okay.
That sucks too, though.
I did it, and I do it. It depends on the game for me.
I get in these little tiffs with Luke where
steadfast on both ends.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's things that I'm cool with. There's things that I'm not.
Moral of the story is that CD Projekt Red is the best company ever.
For real.
Or like Larry and just doing all that shit for free. Completely.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Switch 2 edition of Cyberpunk. I can't wait to pick that up. I need another playthrough.
I don't know. I feel like for me it depends on the thing. Like you were saying, like for instance, like the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. If that wasn't part of Switch Online, I wouldn't have bought them because that is just nothing except a 60 frame patch, basically. I wouldn't buy those because that's not worth it to me. But if you go, hey, we added a bunch of content that's more gameplay changes and things
and being a good like a good thing, or never mind, I'm not gonna get it because the thing is, it is good to update and make things better, but being like paying for it, like okay, sure, but like it's yeah.
For me at least, I feel like I can't I can't go against it because I've bought stupid shit before in terms of like game like DLCs or like small things like, oh hey, this is a cosmetic pack of a bunch of shit that's just skins and weapons. I'm like,
sure, but expecting like to be like, here's the game and it's good now, is like it's like, I think it's just the attitude around it. That it's like, here it's good now. Also here, like, you should buy it too.
For me,
Even
it's just
though
the it's just the audacity of charging for it again instead of just pushing an update.
I mean, well, for a lot of people, that was the first time you played it because that was what they put on Xbox and PC and PS5. Was hey, if you hadn't bought Death Stranding because you didn't have a PlayStation, well, here you go. This is now the version. We didn't put the base whatever. It's like, here's the definitive edition. That's the one going on everything. Whereas if you played Death Stranding back in the day, you just had the PS4 version. Then hey, we're giving you. I think that because that was at the point where everything was like a $10 upgrade unless you're on Xbox.
Yeah,
or like weird ass third party companies, because I think technically,
and saying everything but except on Xbox is like, here's like 30% of the player base.
Yeah, but also the thing with Xbox players that nobody ever really talks about is that they just play Call of Duty. People that own Xboxes don't care about video games; they just want to play the new COD.
I think they just want, like, they just want a little escape.
Yeah, it's just a guy that works at a car dealership with a wife and kids that plays on weekends.
Just wants to come home, and it doesn't matter. They're changing, him and his group of friends are changing games every week.
I don't agree with that at all. I think these people buy maximum 2 games a year.
Yeah, they're buying. They have the free battle royale game, whether that's Warzone, Apex, or whatever, and then they'll buy the new COD. They might buy a sports game
and maybe Battlefield,
or just maybe one of those. This is a 10 out of 10 game.
I honestly think a large majority of the COD players have now transitioned to I mean, clearly there's a large majority that are on console, but I feel like COD is now, especially with like Valorant and stuff like that, is now like a large majority have migrated over to PC. That like FPSs, especially like competitive shooter like FPSs, I mean, which is FPS, but has moved to the PC.
You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments in the comments. Yeah, write a comic book and correct me. But I'm pretty sure in terms of COD's player base, and this could be older information now, but Activision put out a thing that says, yeah, our entire, like, from PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, I think it was 52% are on PlayStation. The rest are on Xbox and PC. I don't know how old that is, but also it makes sense considering PlayStation is outselling everybody.
But that's what
I think
I think the migration has happened, though, lot of it to, because I just with the
if you're gonna play an FPS, you're probably gonna play mouse and keyboard.
I mean, yeah, like, I think that's what people have kind of discovered is like, oh, I kind of should get a PC if I'm really into.
Because you're going to go play COD and then jump into Valorant.
And yeah, you're not
CSGO
watching any of your because now that streaming's like way bigger.
I don't think most of these people think about it that hard.
Really?
Yeah, like I know a bunch of people that play Call of Duty, people that I grew up with that are just knuckle dragging retards that don't think that hard about anything in their life.
I mean, to be fair, COD is the most. You buy that every year, play it. That's all you're playing. Like most people play COD, don't play anything else. I tried to play
Minecraft with Trevor the other day. This has happened twice now. Where he's like, hey, you want to get on and play some Minecraft? We'll get in there. He'll stand there with his character for like 15 minutes. And then he'll be like, I can't handle this right now.
What?
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Do you say that to him?
No.
Maybe you should.
I think he could tell by the tone of my voice.
It's so funny. It's really interesting hearing about other relationships that you have. And like you just going through what transpired there. And then me asking, did you say that to him? And you go, no, because I know for a fact.
You'd say that to us.
You would say that to me.
Yeah. Because I know you can handle it. You're a real one. Trevor's a little pussy boy.
Well, I think that's what's really funny is like I feel like, and maybe this is out of pocket, but I feel like we are the most normal relationship you have.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for other people
Maybe.
you tend to,
pretty much for everybody else I'm putting on some kind of front.
You know, I was gonna say you're walking on eggshells, trying to be like I probably shouldn't say that. To me and Matt, you will call us names to our faces.
Yeah, you're so
fully
so
put us on
mean
blast.
to me.
Yeah, we watched that Meat Canyon gooning video last week. And I was like, yo, his name is Luke and he looks exactly like you. And Luke was like, that's the rudest thing you've ever said to me.
And I was that was a nice little respite.
And Matt was like, "Thank God it's not me." No, there was like a good there was like a good
Well,
few seconds where I literally was like, "Dude."
There's times where we're watching something, and I'll be like, "Yo, that's like Luke. Fuck him," and then I'm like, he can't defend himself. But then on Tuesdays, it feels like the fuck Matt fest.
Because I feel like there's a weird thing where, like, I don't know, because BJ for the most part will just talk shit to me, whether behind my back or not. But I feel like there's a weird level of, like, I'll give him a break right now.
I mean, the whole thing is, like, I love you guys, so I'll talk shit directly to your face whenever I want to. But if anybody ever fucks with you, I'm going to fucking kill them.
I can't wait. I mean, I'd rather it not happen, but, like, I can't wait for, like, one person to talk shit to either me or Matt. And all of a sudden, BJ's like, "Hey, yo, we got a problem."
You know that scene in The Wolf of Wall Street where the guy's cleaning his fish tank?
Yeah.
And suddenly Donnie just appears across the room? That's going to be me.
I fucking love that movie. It's so... I can rewatch that constantly because it never gets annoying.
So, quick recap. Carmen graduated.
Big shout out, Carmen. Let's go.
Let's go. So, we went to Philly.
Everybody in the comments type,
and
congrats, Carmen.
We did so much stuff. We walked like almost 9 miles. It was on Friday all over Philly. We only used Uber once. And that was just to kind of like, after we had walked, we were like far out of the city. So we were like, we have to get back. And we went to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, where that's the part in Rocky where he goes to the top of the steps.
It's fucking weird ass.
He goes, "Adrian!" And there's a statue up there, and everyone was doing the pose. We did it too, but...
There's the things you were sending us, where I was like, that's just some fucking penis
art
art
museum,
sculptures.
But the best part, though, is they had this, like,
It was like an armor exhibit.
1400s to 1600s, like, exhibit where they were showing, like, all these paintings that would have been in, like churches where they had, like, the gold gilded, like, halos around people. And it was all there. All, like, from 1400. That was, like, right there. No glass. I could have touched it. I didn't. But I was like... I was like, this is like, it was that part to me, because they had like other art, and I was like, this is like, okay.
No, dude, Renaissance art is a fucking
It is dude. So like being right there in front of it, it was like, it gave me, this is like totally an ADHD mindset, but like I just related it to everything in my repertoire, in my mind library. I'd be like, it's like this, it's like this, it's like this, it's like this, and I was like, this is so cool. And then we walked in, and there was this room full of armor, and all of it from that period, and it was all cleaned and like shiny, and they had all these swords that were gilded, and I was like, we're in the
wrong timeline.
We've regressed as a society. This is true craftsmanship right here.
I'm just imagining the scene from Ferris Bueller where Cameron's staring at that painting for like forever. That's what I imagine you doing in the Renaissance section.
And then at one point, some guy, I had my backpack on because, of course, I would have a backpack. We're traveling to Philadelphia, and the guy was like, "You gotta have the backpack either one strapped or on your front, or you have to carry it." And I was like, "What?" Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why that is.
Probably to like, you want to steal art.
I know. I think it has to do.
But
with
how
like,
it would be way easier.
I think it has to do with hitting
strap.
hitting
things?
exhibits because you can't see behind you where your backpack is.
Whereas if you have it one strap, you can kind of move it a little.
And also, it'll like if it hits something, it can like
move.
Jostle more. It's
yes,
not
it
in
can
a static
so that's
position.
what I thought about it for like 15 minutes. Like, why the fuck would he want like? They say you can't wear 2 straps, only 1 strap. And it made me think in 21 Jump Street.
You're 2 strapping it? No, you gotta go the 1 strap. I would no strap it if that would even be possible.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And so,
God, I love
they showed
this
all
movie.
these swords and then all this armor, and I was like, I feel like, and even though I can say it because I played a little bit, but I was like, this feels like Elden Ring right now. All this armor and I was like, this is so cool. I mean, to be fair, it's like the only
This
game.
feels like Elden Ring.
That's the only game with like.
Yeah, medieval armor designs.
Yes, exactly. Other than because I haven't played Chivalry or like Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
I haven't played any other games, so that was like the only reference that I was like, look at all these armor sets. Oh, this is so cool.
Kingdom Come is the only game that has made me go fuck the rule of cool, because I'm like, no, I just need armor. I'm gonna fucking die. Like where I'm like, well, because straight up there's like,
bold.
Well, if you have Kingdom Come, it's like, oh, you're not wearing a helmet, and the enemies are going to fucking aim for your head, and if you fuck up,
that is crazy because you talk about the Witcher swords and how you use the shitty ones that you can't even see the hilt of when he's holding them.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about the hilt. It's the blade. Blade's got to be cool.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a sword. It's always
So,
gonna look cool.
Nope.
Did
No, because
that,
there's some of those weird fucking teeth on it. That I'm like, nah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
No,
racist to Maori
that was
people.
like one
Yep.
of my highlights. This place was huge, and they had this whole, like, 13th century, 14th through 16th century stuff, and that was like my favorite part. And yeah, like they even had like the top of a tomb of a knight, which had like the knight like
yeah, with the ornate,
with the ornate thing, and it
sculpture.
reminded me of like Indiana Jones when he goes into the catacombs to find like the Templars like tomb. Oh my, everything. I was just like, this is so insanely cool. Did that this yeah, like last weekend, a couple days ago. And then we started watching Breaking Bad because Carmen has never seen it.
Yep.
And I have been this is like almost got me as hyped as Game of Thrones has. It's so much fun going through again.
with someone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, but me and him are able to like chat about it. And because before only Carmen and I could be like, oh yeah. So
Yeah.
you remember that? That was so crazy. And I couldn't, yeah. And I just would have to shut up for BJ. And yeah, so it's
How
been
far are you in so far?
We're
only
still
like
in season
7,
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just shaved his head.
Yeah.
Not Tuco.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, I told you, I was like, Gus does not scare me as much as Tuco.
Tuco's
scares me.
fucking terrifying.
That's why it's such a punch to the gut when you're playing or you're watching Better Call Saul and he shows up at the end of that episode. You're like, oh fuck, how is he gonna deal with Tuco?
I love Better Call Saul. I actually really like it because at first,
I still
I'm
need
gonna be
to
honest.
finish it.
At first, when they announced it, I was like, I like Saul Goodman, but like, really?
For me, it's just the Mike show.
It's fair.
That's the old guy, the bodyguard. Yes, yeah,
And of course, Nacho. Nacho is a great addition to the cast.
yeah,
Beer, if there's any left.
yeah. There's
Good
plenty.
old
Hell yeah.
Voss Montenegro himself.
So
I still want to watch.
there is Nashville Comic Con that's happening June 7th, like the weekend of June 7th and 8th. And I was just like looking to see the lineup. Not really, only like one anime voice actor. The rest are like normal actors.
What was
but
the
I-
one you went to? Was it in Philadelphia that was happening?
Yeah, it was
Philadelphia Comic Con.
Philadelphia
Or...
Con.
Expo.
Okay,
ExpoCon? No, it was like, yeah, something like that.
you said it was like Troy Baker and Yuri Lowenthal were there, right?
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
the kind that's definitely where the whole thing of it is just like they set up their little things and you go and meet them,
Yeah.
which was just Multicon.
Yeah.
And
It was
Multicon fucking sucked.
yeah, and it was just that essentially. I'm sure they had some panels, but like it wasn't like. I just don't feel like that's a con. Like MTAC is definitely a convention. They got panels. They got all sorts of activities for you.
Shit's
to
going
do.
on every fucking second.
Yeah. That's what's so great about MTAC. This one, I looked at it and I was like, this isn't. And it was like the cost was like $65. Even though I bet the showroom,
You're
like,
really just paying to go in there and shop at that point.
the convention center was so insanely big. Like they only used half of it for that part of the convention. The other half was like Girl Scouts of America was doing some sort of Girl Scout convention
That's
on
dope.
the other side. This place was huge.
I love the idea of like on one hand it's just Girl Scouts, the other hand you got these people in like alien costumes.
Yeah,
And, like
we were like thinking
yeah.
about it, and Carmen was like, "Let's do it," and I was like, "It's $65 per ticket."
yeah.
But also, like, that's the most genius move the Girl Scouts of America have ever pulled. Because they can just stand in the median and be like, hey, do you fat fucks want some cookies?
That's right. I mean, it was like a convention for girls where they had like activities and stuff like that, and like I don't know what else they were doing, but they had. I saw activities that they were putting on, but the Nashville Comic Con, I looked at press just because I was curious, and they were like so brutal in like before in the press thing. They were like, we're honestly looking for people like that are serious press like outlets like with like multiple thousands of followers, and I was like, whoa,
This is Nashville. What
that's
the fuck?
crazy. That's a crazy like
Who do you think you are?
statement to say. And like all it is like there was the guy who plays Gus in Breaking Bad, Giancarlo Esposito. The guy who plays Sam in Lord of the Rings. So Sean Ashton. And then like that was like all the big people. They had a couple like comic drawers. Or illustrators.
I would love to go see Rob Liefeld just to get like a thing, just because I want to just talk. I want to ask him about like comic book shit, because I keep seeing these videos of like
the only voice actor they had was the voice actor for the English voice actor for the buff guy who claps in JJK.
Oh yeah, Toto. I don't know his voice actor.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think we've got a good thing going with MTech. I don't necessarily. I mean, I would love to go see some other stuff. Obviously, we get bigger.
I also think it would be good.
I think MTech is just kind of.
I think it'd be fun to go without a pass.
Yeah.
To like, I think Dragon Con or what's the other?
I mean, yeah, just going as attendees to shit like that.
Yeah, like there's the one
so we can still get some
Lee
good
went
footage
to in Atlanta
yeah.
that was crazy. So that I think that's Dragon Con.
Mm-hmm.
That looked insane. So who knows? But
speaking of,
I saw an ad on like my Instagram in between reels, and I was like, oh, like I didn't even know that Nashville had a Comic Con. So
speaking of Yuri Lowenthal, you beat Spider-Man.
I did.
You did all on Steam Deck, right? For the most part.
All on Steam Deck.
Nice.
I never touched on my computer. The computer, I've been going back and forth with Metal Gear. I had to, for the last mission, go to my computer because it was right after I picked up Code Talker, and then the helicopter goes down, and you have to face all the skulls and defeat them. And my loadout sucked. I just had my AR and a sniper rifle, and I was like, I need a grenade launcher.
Right the fuck now.
So bad. I was so under-equipped, and I was trying on my Steam Deck. I tried like 3 times, and after the second time, it was like, you want the chicken hat? And I was like, no, I never want the chicken hat. Are you crazy? To those who don't know, after you die 2 times in a mission, it'll offer you the ability to wear a chicken hat, and it pretty much reduces the damage and makes everything easier, but you have to have a chicken hat.
You have to look stupid when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, there's no way. And I was like, I'll just wait till I get to my computer, and I'll do it then. Because I can definitely do it. I want mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
For aiming and stuff.
Did you ever try using the trackpad with your thumb? Because sometimes I do that,
I mean, to be fair, I never used I never used mouse and keyboard. I'm sorry, I didn't use mouse and keyboard. I had it on my screen with my Pro controller.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say sometimes I've done that with just the trackpad, just a little bit.
Trackpad is good for camera. It sucks for a D-pad though.
Well, no, I'm saying like as for an aim thing. Like,
Yeah,
if
I haven't
aiming,
really tried it, but I beat
done that.
Spider-Man. The ending is super sad. Super sad.
Genuinely got me to tear. Not
Yeah,
because
I was
not only
telling
is it
BJ,
spoilers by the way for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
2018 game. You should play it.
So when we get to the part with Octavius, he like all of a sudden it was just like in an anime where you can see where all the budget is spent.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like for the rest of the game, I was like, where is this writing?
The writing, because he was like, I worshipped you.
Genuinely.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is like the writing of this is so good. He's like, I worshipped you.
Like,
You were my hero.
Because like everything else, it was just like a pretty passable, pretty good comic book game. Whereas like like Mr. Negative's cool, like whatever, like good combat, good whatever. Literally the last act is like holy fuck. Yeah.
Well, what's so interesting is like I did like it. Felt very reminiscent to what's the Spider-Man with all the movie with all the 3 Spider-Men?
No Way Home.
No Way Home, where Aunt May dies in the beginning, and then when he goes up against Green Goblin, he's like so conflicted on wanting to kill him. This one, Aunt May's still alive.
Just he's now like hoping to get that fucking cure.
Yeah, is
get
still
up there.
alive and like hoping she pulls through, and the whole dialogue happens, and then he's like, no, Doc Ock, like I'm not gonna kill you. You can go. And he's like, it's Peter. I'd hate if you. Like, I'd have to tell it. We could keep each other's secrets, and we could help each other. And he's like, nah.
No,
like,
I love that you do what you need to do, and he walks off. I was like,
he walks
oh,
off.
Fuck.
And then he has to go through, like, do I use the cure on
Dude,
just
that
Aunt
moment where he
May?
holds it there, like he's literally gonna be like, fuck it, and then just doesn't. And that
I know what I would do.
I know what I would do too.
Yeah.
But like that moment where he's by Aunt May and you just hear the guttural like crying he's doing,
Especially,
and then it goes to black and you hear the EKG
And that
stop.
really just like, I at least mainstream, and we're going a little bit back to Marvel, but
Yeah.
mainstream talks about like all like these other characters that like have gone through shitty stuff. Like if you go through Peter Parker's timeline, losing both Ben
and Aunt May
and Aunt May,
Gwen Stacy dying early.
it's like
Yeah.
going through all of that. Like as a teenager,
That's
oh
what
my
well that's what makes him so good is that despite all that he's still like a hero
your
above all
your-
else.
your-
Yeah.
your- and your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And it's like that's to me, I was like, oh my gosh, he really has lost everything.
Yeah.
And then you get there's two parts. I liked that him and MJ got together, but the whole thing of but I liked that they were the end result. I liked the process. I thought was dumb as hell. Which I guess you could say they're just young people that are trying.
Well, and that's kind of the point of like
But it was so dumb because they're sitting in the cafe and he was like, I'm going to stay with Miles for a little bit. And he was like, well, you could stay with me if you want. And he goes, yeah, I'd want that for sure. And she was like, yeah, I've actually wanted that for a long time. And he goes, so have I. And I was like, then why the fuck? And then I got so angry.
I just hate.
And then they kissed, and I was like,
I hate every. Also, really good Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
In that
It's even
game.
more fucked up because he has way more chemistry with Black Cat in that game.
Fuck. He's got more chemistry with Silver Sable in that game.
For real.
I'll be honest with you. Peter has fucking like I don't like Insomniac
also,
MJ.
I didn't like
I think
the
she's
writing
bad.
with
Mary Jane in that game
Silver Sable.
has the personality of that
MJ
bitch from the B
is
movie.
ugly.
Yeah.
She gets
in the
worse.
game.
She gets worse. In
What do you mean worse?
Spider-Man 2
They
is
change her face too.
yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
I think it's the same actress, but they did something to her face in like
They should have just got
Also,
Kirsten
the
Dunst back.
Silver Sable is the worst written part because they do this whole thing, and then at the very end, she's like, "I saved you," and I look back at what I was doing, and I felt bad that I was doing that, and I was like, "This is out of nowhere."
Yeah.
Like because what's so good about the game is they give you all these dialogue, like they give you dialogue from every person throughout the whole game. Like Silver Sable literally has Peter's number or Spider-Man's number, and she calls him, and she's like, "I hate you, stay out of my way." And never once do you get like anything that you tells her that like she's kind of ashamed of what she's been doing and how she's been acting until the very end. You get to like.
Well, they kind of rectify that with the DLC.
yeah.
Okay.
The thing is
that
that
to me was like, oh, she's just like gonna switch and let you live and not gonna like. Okay, this is dumb.
that's kind of the problem with her being a mercenary is like at first because you're kind of like, oh, they're like it's the villain thing, and because it does come out of nowhere, and you kind of have to just wave it away as like she's a mercenary. She's like, you know what, the pay's not worth it. Fuck it, we're going off, and like. Whatever. The DLC does give her a little bit more that I'm like, I'm cool with this.
Okay, so that was dumb.
Do they touch the stuff with Yuri in the second game? Does that come back?
Yeah, but like side stuff. It's never a main story point. And it fucking sucks, to be fair.
I don't like.
She also has a shitty haircut.
It's just hard dealing with this game, and to be fair, I'm putting it into perspective of when this game was made. But to be fair, one of the best. The best Spider-Man movie I've watched is a origin story for Miles, even though it's encased in a multiverse universe.
It's still a fucking phenomenal movie.
But you
Sorry.
could have taken all those other characters out, and I still would have been into it.
Yeah,
for sure. But like, so that's when I think of Miles, I think that universe, that timeline, that movie, and then going to this one where it's like, oh, Miles is also here. And we were watching him get bit.
Oh, buddy.
And then he's like, I got powers too. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly were setting it up for sequels because I do the Miles Morales side game. I still think is really good. It's just the villain's kind of stupid. Everything else though, I was like, you know what, I like this.
Hungry?
He's a hungry boy. But yeah, Miles, with the exception of, his dad's death. It's kind of the only time I was cool with playing as another person that's not Spider-Man because I was like, this is like relevant to this character. What? Well, like playing Mary Jane, and then playing like you play as Miles or play as other
they
characters.
both fucking suck.
Yeah, but like
they both fucking suck.
The only time that I was cool with it was him going to get to his dad because I was like, this is like story relevant to the character. Things like that.
You also have the punchiness of that
disagree.
part.
I didn't need a mini game to sneak my way to my dad's dead body. cutscene would have been fine enough for me.
But for someone that's like into comic books, you get to that part and you're like, oh fuck, we're in the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
Sure, but
And you're really
we couldn't have
invested
just
in
done
them.
a cutscene of that. Fucking cutscene.
No, I like the.
Why
like
did
the-
I have to sneak my way?
I like it. I'm cool with it.
No,
I didn't like. I didn't like.
It's a rug pull because they make you think like this is Miles' story from now on, because they do the whole thing where they fake out Peter's death in that part too.
I
mean,
I disagree. I could have done without
completely fair.
any of those two.
I didn't like any of MJ's moments ever.
No, they were
those are the
pointless.
worst
Dog
part.
shit.
Well, the only time that I was like,
especially when she's such a cunt. Sorry, she is.
she's a cunt. Not
she
sorry.
is such a cunt, and then she also, and then with the ending, she's like, yeah, you know, I wanted to be with you. Then why were you complaining?
But-
you clearly need to be saved.
When you think about it, when has Mary Jane ever been like a really good, likable character? I can't think of a single time.
When they were married.
Right, but
That's never happening again.
that's not real. That
I mean,
never happens.
I would say, Toby Maguire
No.
Spider-Man.
no.
She was a cunt through all those
She's
too.
arguably the worst in
Yeah.
those.
That's the worst MJ.
She's
Wait,
like,
wait,
oh,
hold on. Give me a couple points.
Oh, I'm in this play, and this other person that I know has seen it 15 times, and you haven't been able to make it once. You're in a fucking play on Broadway. He can go see it whenever. Don't break up with him just because he hasn't seen your play. Also, who sees a play 17 times?
Also,
She breaks up with him every single movie.
every movie they break up, and it's always her fault because he's too busy being a hero.
And she almost married Space Wolf.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking. Of
Also,
like,
the entirety of to be fair, the only time I felt bad for her was when Peter had the symbiote and he was just genuinely being a dick. But that was it. Because I
Yeah,
think
but-
didn't she get fired from the Broadway thing? She was working as a waitress.
I was working as a waitress at a cocktail bar.
But like, yeah, that was the only time
met you.
like, because in movie one, she's just girl next door. Peter's too shy. That's like the most healthy.
No,
all
dude,
of them are.
she is to Peter what Jenny is to Forrest Gump. She only comes back when she fucking needs something.
Damn.
Yeah, I think no, she's not worse in the other game because at least she's more competent. Like the one
Competent
well, yeah,
in the game.
yeah, well, like case in point in Spider-Man 2,
Sparta-Man.
thankfully her moments.
Spooderman.
Hey,
Spider-Man.
Batman, her segments are a little more interesting because they do segment them. The worst part is you play as Miles' blind girlfriend a couple times.
Is
sorry,
the
deaf.
screen just black?
No, sorry, deaf, not blind. Sorry, deaf.
The only blind person I ever want to play as is
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
But like one of the moments where you're like, oh, forced stealth section, I hate this. The one good moment in like where in those moments in 2 is like, oh, Mary Jane is having to run from venomized Peter. And it's if you get caught, it's like genuinely terrifying game over things. Like you see this black tendril thing.
Some hentai cutscene happens.
Yeah, no, you
Right,
see
the Marvel
like
Rivals
this fucking.
SFM videos.
Yes, right.
But that was the only part, and then thankfully the Miles sections in that game are he's Spider-Man now, so he can just do that shit. So
Good.
like, you have less of those, but I don't know. I think two is the worst one, but I think it's because they tried to ham-fist 2 stories in one game, and they did not give either enough time because they should have either just done Kraven or done Venom because they should have done both.
Yeah.
But I do like Spider-Man though.
Speaking
It's
of
good.
Craven,
That'd be a-
poor Aaron Johnson.
yeah.
Every time he gets cast as a superhero, he either dies or it misperforms like crazy.
Yeah. Or if they get a sequel, it's dog shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass could have been so good.
Kick-Ass was great.
Wait, the
Kick-Ass 2
movie-
sucks.
Oh yes, agree. 100%.
Kick-Ass 2 was awful.
I'm still pissed they never got to 3 because 3 was awesome.
I actually want to go back and read those comic books again. It's been a while.
Same guy that wrote the Kingsman
Well,
books.
Yeah.
I hate to do this, but we have a Let's Play dinner to make and a Let's Play to record. So
Go check out the sponsor Dubby. Use code Take It Sleazy. Check out, like and subscribe. We've got some
like
good-
a and as always.
Take it sleazy.
I was gonna make a